Yeah, do you feel that's kind of like better coming from the actual Hedgie's kind of Twitter page, or do you feel that's kind of like that could be just driven from the foundation or individuals, or what are your kind of thoughts?
I think we can alternate. We got the Wanderers Twitter as well, so they could host one, and we can host one, and then sort of go back and forth.
Hmm. Okay, sweet. Yeah, it'd be good if we could have like a structured list of like, say, over like a 52-week period where we think actually like this week we'll hold a Twitter space with X and this week we'll hold a Twitter space with Y.
Yeah,
I think that'd be great.
yeah, exactly.
What we
Yeah, just looking to have different collabs, different communities, and it can be simple Twitter Spaces to start with, and then we can get more into more complicated interactions depending on where we choose to go.
Hmm.
And yeah, just keeping it fun, and then trying to add value in those conversations to both communities.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Mo, have you? I know you've kind of like been in the kind of the shadows with regards to kind of like really pushing out the hedging NFT narrative as well. Have you got any thoughts on that?
Well, for the community here, I have good news. So essentially, what I want to gather from everyone here, even James is not aware of this right now. It's going to be news to him, but you'll have hedgies with merch on it, right? So different NFTs have different items, special items that they're wearing. How would you guys feel about those items being available to basically purchase, or would you want totally different designs?
And this is having, sorry Mo, like hedgy, like is it just one standard hedgy on the front of merch?
Oh, so basically, all the hedgies have a unique thing, item of clothing. So, for example, one will have a hat with the DYDX branding on it. Then there'll be another one with for example, a jacket. Other items are quite quirky in what they are. But if you look at each NFT, there's an item of clothing that Anna has put on. Like even the t-shirts with diamond hands, for example, there's like things in there branding wise that can translate over onto clothing. So how do the community feel about having those kind of designs translated onto official merch? Or would you want to keep it simple?
Well, I can speak for me. I think that's an awesome idea about having kind of like those designs on merch. And I think that'll make a lot of people in the community happy. I know there's not a huge amount of the hedgies here, just a handful so far. But from speaking to a lot last week and just getting the narrative from them, in my opinion, I know they'll absolutely love that. What does everyone else think?
I think it's an awesome idea. Love it.
I mean, it's a frank discussion here, and nothing's in concrete. But we there's a team working in the background. A lot of the hedgy community have asked for merch over again, and we're really trying our best. Like I have to reiterate, there's a lot going on in the background. The team are working on things that I don't even know about. There's an exchange running. There's an app that they're launching as well, and obviously we need to increase the awareness for the hedgie, so solidify the branding in relation to merch. So we're really trying to do this for the community. And right now, if you guys have anything that you would like in merch, time to speak up, and I will make notes and give them over to the sub team that's dealing with the merch front.
Yeah, I think that's awesome, Mo. Yeah, and then if people aren't confident enough to speak up here, then you just DM mod Y mod X here on the Burrows and just give him some feedback there. Because like he said, this is your opportunity now to really have your own spin on what could be sort of like your own personal merch that you've actually decided for the hedgies. Super exciting times.
Yeah, exactly. So like I don't know if that's feedback or is that like just someone playing TV in the background. But anyway,
Was watching TV or some series in
Yeah.
Russian.
All right.
all right, okay, fair, okay. So essentially, it's just deciding some things from the community and just feeding them back to the designers that we have working in the background. Now, obviously, the bulk of the work is being done by them, and they're making their own novel designs. But I wanted the community to be part of the process wherever possible. So if you don't want to say anything, that's fine. That we're trying our best to make a collection for you guys. But if you do have anything that you want to share or think is a great idea, then either message myself or James. Like I said, purpose is to involve the community, and the Hedgies is a brand built out for you guys in mind. So yeah, feel free to say what you like.
Sweet. And like, if anyone wants to say anything now, then by all means just unmute yourself, and we'll welcome any feedback there. Okay, if not, then I think next thing we were going to talk about is just kind of like long term as well. In your opinion, Alucard, I know that Mirage.eth has got these grants for. He's a 3D rendered artist, I think, which is extremely exciting. I know he's planning on creating some kind of educational trading content videos with different hedges, which would be unreal if we can actually get the 3D files to him. I think this is. I will kind of replay this to him, as I know he was querying whether we can get the 3D files early, but mainly because of everything that's been going on in trading has kind of put a little bit of a stall on that due to how busy they are with the rollout of this iOS app. Just in terms of kind of like our long-term goals, I guess like what are our goals with regards to like, I guess, long-term rollout of these Hedgie NFTs? Have you got anything in your mind, Alucard, where you think, do you know what, in 6 months down the line, we actually want it to have this reach? Or sort of, again, are we going to attract people on the basis of the utility? Are we going to attract people based on just the artwork? I mean, what are you kind of thinking there?
I think a big part of it is awareness at this point. I think we'd really like to see just an overall increase in awareness from other from Hedgies and within other NFT communities, where if I go in any other NFT community and they see a Hedgies, they instantly recognize that we're there and who we are, and instantly recognize the brand. I feel like that's missing right now, and I think that it's going to make a huge difference if we can push that. So really having a lot of a social presence in both social media, and all the merch stuff and all these collabs are gonna help with that. But really getting the brand out there. I think that's making the community present in the bigger space, right? In the bigger sort of NFT metaverse. And I think we can do sort of exciting things like we could do like meme contest, stuff like that, where we get to, and that's more for the community to interact, and we can definitely create a lot of, more playful and more easygoing conversations that way. But also look to add, just value to the community in general. And that's the other thing that I really would like to see. Like, why are members of the community coming into Hedgie's Discord every day? Like, why are we hanging out together? It's like, what value are we really finding within this community? And I think to find a lot of that value, not only do we have to be involved in the larger NFT space, because that's going to lead to conversations and sort of interactions, and people are going to find value in those.
Yeah,
and we see that sort of clearly, like, even just like the sort of Kevin memes that came around last week, and then we had a Kevin Hedgies in there, and it's just pretty fun times overall.
Yeah, I think like we're lucky in the sense that I know Mo speaks a lot with kind of the creator of the Hedgies, and like she's very like in touch with like recent developments, just in terms of like D-Jenny type NFT like DeFi space, and like the fact that she can just like spin out like a Kevin NFT. I think like stuff like that we actually really need to capitalize on, and that's probably like historically something that we haven't done very well in terms of just like trying to hack that sort of culture element and bring people in from that. So I think, yeah, exciting there, isn't it?
So, Alika, just to feedback what James is saying, I do speak to one of the co-creators of Hedgies that does the actual designs, and it was because of the community that I was able to speak to that individual and get that Hedgie NFT on Kevin out there. So it wasn't my idea, it was the communities, and this is what I'm getting back to. This Hedgie NFT, it really goes down to the concept of punks, okay? So punks was conceptualized back in the day. You just minted it for free. You paid, when I say free, you paid the gas fee, okay? So similarly here for the Hedgies, it's on the community to like tell us what they want, and we work with you guys to try and deliver. Like, once again, it's what I'm trying to say is that a lot of the community want roadmap. So what is it that you guys want on the roadmap? We've heard you in regards to the merch, and this takes time, and we're working on it in the background. We're honestly working quite hard on this, and we're trying to make something that is unique and something out there. But remember that punks, BAYC, the community would set up their own Twitter spaces, join other people's Twitter spaces, and just represent that underlying NFT project by having that kind of image associated. So they would just, I remember BAYC would go into random Twitter spaces in groups, and they the community members would agree upon this and just basically go in the Twitter spaces just to make a presence. And through it, people got intrigued, like what BAYC was, and then people wanted to join that project and wear it as a PFP. So for us as a project, one thing we can do is join Twitter spaces where the theme is to do with perpetual dexes, for example. Like if there's a talk on that, let's go out and hang out and let's add to that convo. And when people realize that we're wearing these Hedgie NFTs, and they realize that it's a DYDX exchange project, they're more likely to come over, especially with the given utility of a Hedgie NFT. Or you could do something random, which is make your own spaces and encourage people to come along from other communities. So, yeah, so A, we want direction from the community, and B, we want the community to take lead, because it is essentially a collective project. It's not just a centralized entity dictating all the terms, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also, like you just said, is like every individual though has got an IP to their Hedgie. The fact of the matter is that I know Mirash, when he has put these proposals together for the grants, it's going to be a massive collective there as well. But I think, like echoing what Mo said, is look, this is like a group drive that we really need to try and push these Hedgie narrative out there. If you want your Hedgies to be, it's a bit of a stretch, but if you want your Hedgies to be, some of these doodles essentially, and that might be a bit silly to say, but that level of kind of, I guess, attractiveness for the community to jump in, and then additionally have their own utility for it, then fantastic. And I think come V4, people may have the opportunity to then maybe adjust utilities based on any that's really solid proposal that doesn't kind of adjust rewards formulas too differently. I think what I was going to say here is, like, in terms of sort of like the gaming kind of meta sort of open world university type thing, do we think that there's any benefit of sort of like trying to drive any changes into that world, or do we feel that's super early and it wouldn't be worth it, or what's your kind of thoughts there?
I think that would definitely be a lot easier after B4 on that front. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just trying to jump in, and because I've given this a considerable amount of thought, okay? Once again, it's on the community, but I would say that having watched the NFT, because I've spent a considerable amount, unhealthy amounts looking at NFT projects now and doing background research, there's a common theme. Make a roadmap and promise that there will be merch, there will be collaborations, and there will be eventually uh, a game. So there is a narrative being played out by every NFT project out there. And what I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't look for the narrative. We should try and carve our own way out of this. So having a roadmap made by the community is a first. Like the punks did the similar thing with their own roadmap, if I remember correctly. Like it was made by those individuals that bought the punks. Similarly here, we've got Hedgies that have got excellent ideas. Like you guys can get together and make a roadmap and suggest it to the community. We can vote on it. We can even set up, like, say, for example, try and see if we can have voting power through the Hedgie NFTs themselves. So the community can vote for certain proposals, say, for example, on this roadmap versus another roadmap. And then once we have a roadmap, we can go forward with it. If we need funds, the DYDX grants program is there, and individuals can step up or can ask people with the required skills to come and do it. An example that I can give you is, for example, is the recent advert. James, are you saying something? Sorry.
No, sorry. Is it making a background noise?
I thought you were waiting to say something, and I'm just carrying on.
No. I'll mute. There you are.
So yeah, in the group discussion, Hedgie's General, I've linked a recent advert where DYDX was mentioned. Okay, so an idea that I had, and I've already given it to a video editor, is, you know, when he's looking at that menu and he's got DYDX in there, right? So I've asked him to edit the text, and there's a Hedgie emoji next to it, and then once he looks at that and the camera zooms back on the audience, all the people's faces are going to be Hedgie NFTs, right? So like it was just a fun little video that I've like commissioned out. I'm waiting to hear back whether the video editor can do the task, but like this was not DYDX endorsed. It was just me thinking, you know what, that's a great way for me to retweet it out to the same user base that are watching this initial advert and just make a little fun around the Hedgies brand and link it with DYDX. But I'm sharing this because like I think you guys make excellent ideas, and I think that a lot of the time you feel that you can't do the task, and I'm trying to give you my example where I can't do the task, but I use other people with a skill set to execute it, and then I tweet it out, and then hopefully Hedgie's official will pick up on it, approve, and then retweet it. But that's a decision on the team itself where they do that. But as a collaborative, I think we can churn out some great ideas to the execution stage. And I encourage everyone to do this as well.
Yeah, agreed. I guess like also what's also like really pushed this narrative recently, because I know like people were slightly sort of like concerned with the overall NFT market, is obviously that recent acquiring of, I think it's Yuga Labs acquired sort of like the punks for some 9-figure amount, and I think it's really sort of driven the hype back into the NFT market, and actually realised that, look, a project that was created less than 9 months ago has just sold for like a $9 million fund. But equally, from financial element aside, just shows you how much impact the NFTs are having on culture and on the system. So like Mo said, you know, all your ideas are really valued, and I essentially it is up to you long term where the direction of these project goes. Creating proposals, adding in like, and what I would encourage you is just like reach out to Mirash.eth, because like he's the one now who's like applied for quite a significant amount of funding for the direction of where we actually want to take this Hedgie's NFT project. And if it's something that you're equally happy with, then fantastic, you know, everything's on board there. But I'm sure he'd really value your opinions and thoughts on where you think the NFT projects will go. And I know there's already a small group of you already talking, which is fantastic. But, you know, essentially there are, from a foundation standpoint, still 205 Hedgies that are going to be released over the next 12 months. You know, and reality is that's 4 a week over the next year nearly, and more. So they're being released for various tasks. I think there has been a foundation post on the governance forum of the reasons and how we're going to distribute them. So if anyone hasn't got a Hedgie NFT and thinks, look, I love one, you need to go to that forum post and actually look at the reasons why the foundation and what the reasons the foundation are releasing them for. And so you can give yourself an opportunity to win one based on your contribution to the community.
Absolutely. It's a very unique opportunity to join the community by contributing to it directly. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like some of the DMs, I'm not going to name names. I've had individuals come up with excellent ideas, and I've said to them, go out to the grants program and apply for it. And they feel that the main rate limiting is that they don't have the skill set. And I want to reiterate again, the grants program is there for you to come as a collective or as an individual and try and execute an idea that will grow the exchange. Now, you're going to say, okay, so what are the team doing in regards to growing the Hedgie NFTs? Because we have one, we want it to succeed. Look, at the end of the day, the DYDX exchange, as it grows, because they've got a big ambition, they want to be the best exchange. That narrative, if it plays out, which I strongly think it will, then every Hedgie NFT holder benefits, because there's 4,200 ever in existence, and those become super rare, okay? People need the Hedgie NFT to get that utility out of it, or any additional utility that gets proposed and implemented in the future. However, saying that, the community as a whole, they become brand ambassadors as well when you wear one. Like, so I wouldn't want a Hedgie, like, this is my personal opinion. If I saw someone acting in a non-Web3 narrative way, saying things that are just not cool, I would feel like being open and trying to say to that individual in private, please don't do that, because it's not cool for as a collective, as a brand. But then that's up to the community to decide whether everyone feels the same way. I know that right now, a lot of the community members have applied for grants and they're waiting to hear back. But we should try and openly converse with each other and brainstorm and get ideas out. And if you have any friends that are like great at NFT developing or have any cool ideas, bring them into the conversation. We shouldn't just keep them out of the conversation because they're not holding a Hedgie NFT. You never know, we might be able to work something out. I don't know, James is the guy for that, in giving away Hedgies, but we have a treasury of Hedgies, and it's up to the community to decide how we spend that as well. And once again, we could vote on it based on the Hedgie NFTs that we're holding as a voting power. But once again, we need a agreement amongst us as a community to go down this road. And if everyone does want to do that, let's find a way to execute it. Like I said, if you can't do it, just message me. If I know someone, I will get them involved. Like, for example, the Kevin artwork started off by the community. I thought it was cool. I showed it to the person that makes the Hedgie NFTs, and they made that NFT design. And that's how it became a meme, right? So it was a collective effort. Big rant there.
No, it's needed, I think. I think like you said, in reality of things is that like a lot of people who are applying for grants necessarily, it isn't their full-time job. And I think that's one thing to like reiterate. And a grant doesn't have to be the Chaos Labs like $100,000, $200,000 grant. I mean, it could literally be you apply for a grant for $1,000 for your time on researching NFT projects to collab with, or you're sort of like asking for a group of people. Say like 3 of you decide that you want to say have $5,000 to go out there and create some service based off the Hedgie's NFTs. I think as long as you can provide some small value there, then I think that's the main thing. I don't think you need to be a professional 3D artist and have to render all the images in order to get involved with the Hedgies. I think the best thing you can possibly do is just submit an application, let the grants team review it, and look, we're aware of the applications as well, so that's my opinion on that front.
Yes, spot on. Like, if anyone has any more meme ideas that you want the artist to do, just DM me. All I can do is ask the artist, have you got time to just quickly make this? To be honest with you, the artists are passionate about the Hedgies being successful. Remember, they get 2.5% of the royalties. They have been incentivized well for this reason. So they are at the disposal of the community. Like, you have ideas, just let us know. We will try our best. Let the creators know, and I'm sure they are more than willing to help out. So you have all the tools that you need, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I know it's gone half an hour and it's just been a quick chat. I'll just finish on the fact that we're actually launching this ambassador program over the next, I guess, 2 weeks or so, and the artists behind the Hedgies have created something called the kind of artwork for the burrows, which essentially is a hedgehog's home, a Hedgie's home, where you can come in and actually contribute to some form of work. The burrows have actually been 3D rendered at the same time as well, which is super exciting. It hasn't been fully released yet, but there'll be a post most likely going out by the end of this week or next week. So if you are interested in becoming an ambassador, let's say, and actually want to provide some small amount of value to the community, it's a paid role, essentially ambassadorship. And essentially the type of people that we want there are you guys who are passionate about projects. But I think keep your eyes peeled and ears to the ground for the announcement for the ambassador program. There could be some exciting things being released.
I had an idea, James. What about burrows as NFTs being airdropped to Hedgie NFT holders?
That's a great idea. And the fact of the matter is, we've actually, I think, well, I don't want to confirm something, but there is going to be MX. I've just seen that. Nothing there yet. It's coming. I promise. There's burrow po-ops that people who are an ambassador at the moment, it could go to NFT holders. That's yet to be decided, but there are going to be po-ops, so they're going to be gated to the point where we're going to potentially hold private and IRL events eventually, that if you hold that po-op, then it's going to give you gated access. And the same thing could go with the Hedgies. Like, the fact of the matter is, like, we could create gated events around being a Hedgie holder. You have your ETH address there. We will use that as our gated mechanism to allow you to come into certain events. So that's definitely on the horizon.
That sounds cool, James. Like, gated events for the Hedgie, exclusive VIP passes for the Hedgies, and yeah, that sounds cool.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, look, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time, everyone. It's been a great chat again. This will be held every week, same time. Grab your friends, grab further Hedgies, push them all in. I know it's not great for some people on different time zones. I know in the kind of European time, it's not fantastic. But cheers for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next week.
James, hopefully next time I win the wager.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually it will happen. It's a matter of time. I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, mate.
Cheers, guys. Take care.